You ever just like just be sitting back, like thinking, remembering, like when some crazy shit happened to you, you know what I mean? Like just be, reminiscing in your head about some crazy times and shit. But I was thinking about this one time back in Philly when I was living in Philly. Uh, I was just dropped my girlfriend off at the bus stop. She was getting on the bus. She was hanging at my house with me, that day or whatever. Well, she wound up being my baby mom, but it was my girlfriend at the time. But she was over at the house, and we was hanging out or whatever. And she was going to the bus stop. I took her to the bus stop, and we was at the bus stop together, and we would like always argue. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know why, but we just always argue. And it was one of them nights when we had an argument or whatever. So we arguing at the bus stop and stuff, and she get on the bus, and she goes home, and I'm walking back to the house, and the street that I lived on is like a big ass hill, like a steep ass hill like this and shit. You know what I mean? So I'm walking up the hill and shit. You know what I mean? And I'm mad as shit. To myself all. Because I don't even know what we was talking about. But I'm mad walking up the hill and shit. You know what I mean? And I'm walking up the hill, and as I'm coming up, it's these two dudes like standing outside by the church, standing out in front of. I know, right? It's a church on the street, but they were like just standing in front of the church or whatever. Two dudes, a black dude and a white dude, and they were just standing there, and they had like a little scooter or something with them, like a little moped, a bike or whatever, and it looked like maybe they was trying to like fix it or push it or something. I don't know, but they was drunk too. You could tell that they was like fucked up, drunk and fucking with the scooter and all that shit. You know what I mean? But I was walking, you know what I mean, and I'm walking past them, and you know what I mean, like they standing on this side, so I'm walking, this way. I'm gonna walk like this and walk past them or whatever. But the one dude, the white dude, he like walk around this way, so now he on this side. You know what I'm saying? So now there's two of them like this, so I gotta walk in between them and shit. You know what I mean? But I'm like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? This is my street, nigga. I live on this street, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't run me off a whole damn block. I mean, well, whatever. But I'm walking, you know what I mean? And they split up or whatever. So I get ready to walk between them, and the black dude, he like he stick his arm out, you know what I'm saying? Like to say like, like, all right, like you about to go in the club, and security guard be like, hold on, dog, you can't go in, you know what I mean? Like that and shit. He did that John, like, you know what I mean? Hold on, you know what I mean? Like that and shit. So as he's doing that, he say to the other boy, the white boy, he say, is this one of them? Is this one of them? Like that. So automatically in my head, I'm thinking that, I know that phrase, you know what I'm saying? I know what that's leading up to. You know what I mean? That's not the first time that I saw that, go down. But he says, he like, is this one of them? Something like that, whatever. And as he like got his hand up on me or whatever, I'm already thinking like, oh, they about to try to, you know what I mean, beat me with the scooter or some shit, you know what I mean? So as he got his arm on me and shit, I push his arm down real quick and spin around. So now I got my you know what I mean, my back away from both of them, you know what I'm saying? So I, you know what I mean, like I spin around and both of them is still on this side and shit. So at least I could, you know what I mean, got both of them in my sight. So if I, you know what I mean, like that and shit. So when I spin around like that, push his arm off me and shit, you know what I mean, I square up, you know what I mean. He like, I mean, like I said, they drunk, you know what I mean. I mean, not sloppy, falling around drunk, but they drunk. You could tell that they been drinking and shit, you know what I mean. But you know what I mean, we both square up and shit, you know what I mean. And I'm thinking that both of them gonna rush like immediately, you know what I'm saying, like both, you know what I mean, like some bump, you know what I mean. Both of them jump on me and shit. But the white boy, he just like standing there, you know what I mean. He just like standing there just looking. You know what I'm saying? And the black boy, he like the more aggressive one, you know what I mean? Like so he squared up. We squared up and shit, you know what I mean? So, and plus, you know what I mean, I don't know, but like back then, I was like more on some, like, watching the, into like UFC and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? I was into like Hoist Gracie and, you know what I mean, shit like that, you know what I mean? So I was already in my mind thinking like, damn, I'm gonna try to like kick this nigga and, you know, give him a low kick and go to the body and then, you know what I mean? I'm already, you know what I mean? Because I was on some, you know what I mean? I was younger then. But we squared up and shit. And the ball, I mean, like I said too, we was on a big ass hill. You know what I mean? The street is a big hill. So I'm on like I'm up here. He like down here. You know what I mean? So I got the leverage on him or whatever and shit. You know what I mean? So fucking we squared up or whatever and shit. Like I said, the white boy just standing there or whatever, and the black boy, he like kind of coming close or whatever. Like I said, we on the hill and he drunk, so I just kicked the shit out of him and shit. You know what I mean? Just like with like a low kick. You know what I mean? To like the legs and shit. And he stumbled down a little bit, and you know, I just started going on him. I mean, like, you know, like that. And he started stumbling back. And fucking, he tried to grab me and shit, you know what I mean? Like, grab me around the waist, you know what I mean? So, like, he grabbed me around the waist, and he was, like, a big guy, too, you know what I mean? Like, I'm maybe, like, 5'9", or something, you know what I'm saying? He was, like, maybe 6'2", something like that, you know what I mean? He was, like, a bigger black boy with an afro and shit, big black boy with an afro and shit, you know what I mean? But, he, like, grabbed me around the waist and shit, I mean? But, like I said, I was still on, like, the high part of the hill and shit, so I was able to like lower my weight and like push him down and shit, you know what I mean? So like I pushed him down, and like when we pushed down, like he was trying to like reverse it, you know what I'm saying, like get me on the other side or whatever. So we started like to like roll down the hill and shit, you know what I'm saying? So we rolling down the hill, you know what I'm talking about? Like you got a nigga like this, and he flip you, and then you like and then you flip him and shit, you know what I mean? We was like that going down the hill and shit, you know what I mean? And we, you know what I mean, rolling. And fucking, I had glasses on too and shit. This was when I was wearing glasses and shit. But my glasses came off and like went in the street or whatever. And you know, we wrestling around, and a car was coming down the hill and shit. I mean, it was a Jeep full of like other white boys and shit. I mean, because the neighborhood I lived in and shit, it was like a downtown kind of area, you know what I'm saying, with like bars and stores and, you know what I'm saying, all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? So most of the people that lived around there, they was like college students and like frat houses and all that kind of shit, you know what I mean? So the Jeep coming down, and it's like 5 of them in the Jeep, you know what I mean? Like 5 white boys hanging out the Jeep and shit, you know what I mean? But they was on some different shit, you know what I mean? But they came down, they was coming down the hill, and they seen us fighting, you know what I mean? 2 black, me and a black boy fighting and shit. They seen us fighting, they was like, yeah, niggers, fight, yeah, fucking niggers, you know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, this night is just crazy, you know what I mean? But then, you know what I mean? They riding down, you know what I mean? Like I said, they yelling, fighting, you know what I mean? Like you know, yelling at us, yeah, fight nigger, this and this and that. But they riding, and they fucking run my glasses over and shit. You know what I mean? Ran my shit right the fuck over. You know what I mean? Like, god damn. You know what I mean? But fucking ran my shit over. You know what I'm saying? And they kept going. But you know, we still rolling in the street. But we fucking managed to break up and like, you know, stand up or whatever. You know what I mean? Stand up and square up and shit. You know what I mean? So when we stood back up and shit and squared up, it was only for like a split second and shit though, you know what I mean? But when we stood back up and squared up and shit, I just seen an opening and shit, so I caught him with a right joint, bow, right down the middle, you know, bow, you know what I mean? And he's just like, ugh, and he like still, remember we still on the hill and shit, you know what I mean? He's like, bow, and he was like, ugh, and he stumbled back, and like it was like a van sitting there, like a Dodge Caravan or like a minivan or something and shit, and like he fell against the back of the van. And it was like, and he fell against it, and it was like you know, like on the movies and shit, you go, and like slide down and shit, you know what I mean? He was like, and fucking slid down the van and shit, you know what I mean? But I thought he was going to get up and shit, you know what I mean? So I like ran over to him real quick. Remember he had an afro and shit. So like I ran over to him, and I grabbed his hair, like by the afro and shit, and I was like, bow, bow, and then I kneed him and shit, bow, you know what I mean? And he like just fell. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, you know what I mean? But remember, the white boy, he was just standing around. Like, he didn't, you know what I'm saying, like, try to do nothing, you know what I mean, that whole time and shit. You know, he was just looking and shit, you know what I mean? Like he might have said, like, yo, chill, or, yo, or, you know, he might have said something, you know what I mean? But he didn't, like, actually, you know what I mean, get involved and shit, you know what I mean? So, but when the boy fell out or whatever, I was like, all right, you know, that's enough. Like, I ain't going to stop killing him or nothing and shit. You know what I mean? So I started to leave and shit, you know what I mean? And I was walking up the hill, you know what I mean? Walking up to my house and shit. You know what I mean? Walking up the street and shit. And I was thinking to myself, like, damn, man, that's crazy ass shit, man. You know what I mean? Walking up the street, my own damn street. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers fucking with me and shit and leave me, you know what I mean? Goddamn, getting called niggers and shit. And I was just getting mad all over again and shit. Like, man, and there's some bullshit. And I'm arguing with her. And, you know what I mean? I gotta hear this, you know what I mean? And, so I turned around and shit, you know what I mean? And went back down the hill and shit. I was like, man, I'm with the white boy ass and shit, you know what I mean? So I was walking down the hill and shit, you know what I mean? And, I had seen him, cause like down at the bottom of the hill, like when you finally, you know, bottom out and shit, where it get leveled again and shit, it's a gas station, like right across the street. It's like a big open parking lot gas station right across the street, and then after that, it's the river and shit. So I get down at the bottom of the hill, and the 2 boys, you know, the white boy and the black boy, they're in the parking lot of the gas station walking away, like you know, walking the other way, you know what I mean? and they don't see me coming. You know what I'm saying? So you know, get you know what I mean? Remember what was that on Menace and shit when he was get his Eileen cousin creep on and shit over there. He was like, yeah, I'm about to let this nigga have it, cuz, you know what I mean, get his creep on. Yeah, I got my creep on and shit, you know what I'm saying? And the boy, he ain't see me coming and shit, you know what I mean? And I came up behind him and shit, and I had that shit wound up, nigga, and I fucking, nigga, and he turned around, and I missed. That shit said swoop, and he dipped that shit like that nigga must have like came out of his drunkenness or whatever the fuck with that. I was saying swoop. That nigga said swoop and like grabbed me around the waist and shit. I was like, oh shit. So I'm like, I mean, remember, like I said, I'm 5'9", he like 6'2", something like that, and he was kind of big. I mean, not like Diesel, you know what I'm saying, but like kind of. Like, I ain't gonna say fat, but he was like, I don't know, that nigga was big, you know what I mean? But the fucking nigga grabbed me and shit, you know what I mean? I tried to drop my weight, but he was like so big and shit, so like, we was tussling around for a second and shit, and like, I was like trying to hit him and shit, but I like, he got the afro and it was like padding and shit, that shit was like blocking my fucking, you know what I mean? So like, we wrestling around and shit, and it was like the sign, you know what I mean? You know the gas station sign that got the prices of the gas, $3.25, $3.89, whatever. Yeah, I mean the sign is right there, and it's not just like right into the ground. It's like a step or something that is into. You know what I'm saying? That's right there, like a concrete step or whatever and shit. And we like, you know, wrestling around, you know, swinging each other around in the joint. And I tripped over the step joint, the concrete step with the sign and shit. So we fell and shit, like boom, you know what I mean? But when we fell, he landed on top of me and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like we was like on the ground and he was just smothering me and shit. We just so big and shit, you know what I'm saying? And then he was trying to like get me in the full mount, you know, like in the full mount when the nigga like sitting on your chest, like about to get you in that joint and shit. I was like, oh hell no, nigga, you ain't getting me in that joint and shit. Fuck that, you know what I mean? So we, you know what I mean, like tussling like that and shit, you know what I mean? And he trying to like, you know what I mean? Like I said, I guess he must have came out of his drunkenness or whatever and shit. So like when we down like that, he talking shit, you know what I'm saying? He like, oh yeah, nigga, you about to go to sleep now, nigga. And I'm like, oh hell no, nigga, I ain't going to sleep. Fuck that. He's like, yeah, nigga, oh yeah, something. And then, get this, remember the white boy that, you know what I'm saying, had, you know, the whole time, he didn't do shit the whole other time. Now, guess all of a sudden want to get involved and shit, you know what I mean? So, remember this nigga on top of me and shit, the white boy, he like got my legs and shit, he pulling my legs and shit, you know what I mean? Trying to kick me and shit, you know what I mean? Talking shit, pulling my leg. Yo, I had on Timbs and shit. I mean, the nigga took my Timbs off and shit, threw them in the river, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh man, what the fuck? Look who it is, you know what I mean? But we, you know what I mean? When all this shit was going down, remember we was in the gas station parking lot and shit. So fucking the attendant and like people in the gas station and shit, you know what I'm saying, was coming outside and shit, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean, eventually, you know what I mean, somebody, you know what I mean, came with, oh, you know, chill, or whatever. And I was like, all right. Whew. Oh man, thank you, boy. I was never so happy to see Habib when that nigga came out. He was like, hey, you motherfuckers, you get out of here right now. Take your asses somewhere else and fight you black nigger son of a bitch, you. Nah, he fell. But I mean, that nigga, he, you know what I mean, came out and fucking saved me and shit. The boy Sammy Sosa, I used to call him and shit. I mean, the Arab boy and shit, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, broke it up and shit, you know what I mean? And the cops came and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because like that particular gas station and shit, like they usually always be there, really, but it wasn't nobody out. It was like a ghost town that night and shit, you know what I mean? Like the fucking, the signal light and shit, you know what I mean? The traffic light hanging on the joint by itself, just swinging and shit. Nobody outside, you know, flashing yellow and shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody out there and shit. It was just us. You know what I mean? And lucky if them niggas ain't come, boy, they might have really did me dirty. You know what I mean? But, you know, fortunately they didn't and shit. But I was thinking too, like, maybe I just shouldn't have took my ass back down there. Maybe I should have went on home and took that first victory. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I was young and I just, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was one of them times, man.